The one thing I can guarantee you that all of us will face, male or female, is storm, is to try to fix the storm. The storm is not yours to fix. The storm is yours to survive. But the enemy has a way of amplifying trouble in your mind to make you think that it's worse than it really is. And you panic because the devil knows his storm can't take you out.
Now, you may be in the middle of a setback, in the middle of a silent season, in the middle of the morning. That is not the end. God has a flourishing finish for you. He hasn't brought you this far to leave you. Your greatest victories are not behind you. They're still in front of you. Stay in faith. It's still going to happen.
See, the problem that people do is you get in God's way. You tell God what you want, then you mess up and tell him how you want him to do it. All you got to do is write down what you want. Because the scripture says this, write the vision and make it plain, so that he who reads it will run to it. And even though it take a long time, wait for it. For surely it will come at an appointed time. You got to keep the faith. It's going to happen. See, my first vision board I wrote when I was 10, I wrote I want to be on TV. I read it. I flunked out of school. I've been living in a car for 3 years, but I kept reading my paper. Guess what? I'm on TV. Now, I wrote it at 10. I did not get on TV till I was 38. I'm telling you this how this works. Success ain't a magic trick. It's a set of principles. People in here way smarter than me. People in here got way more degrees than me. The Bible says a man without a dream or vision shall perish. So guess what? You can't out-vision me. Don't let nobody out-dream you, and don't let nobody outwork you. That's how you get the life of your dream. I bet you if you write it down. God don't say nothing he don't make true. This world gonna end one day. You ain't gotta believe that. You can say it ain't no God. But guess what? The sun come up tomorrow, you can't stop it. It go down in the evening, you can't shut it off. Go up there and stop the wind and see what happened to you. Go up there and cut that sun off, see what happened. You're gonna roast your like a nut.
All the circumstances say, if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. But what God promised you doesn't have an expiration date. You may have done things that should keep your dream from coming to pass. But God is so merciful, he's already taken your mistakes into account. But too often, we disqualify ourselves. We think it would have happened if I'd finished school, if I'd not got involved with the wrong crowd, then God would bless me. That would be true if God was like us. He is full of mercy. He doesn't cancel our destiny because we got off course. And the good news is God has mercy for every mistake, a comeback for every setback. What he's promised you is still on the way. It may seem unlikely. You may not see how you could ever get out of debt. God is saying increase is coming. What you touch will prosper and succeed. Quit believing the lies that it's too late. The problem is too big. God is called the author and the finisher of your faith. The delay doesn't mean it's not going to happen. The circumstances may look impossible, but God hasn't run out of options. He has ways we've never thought of. He's not limited by your job, by what you didn't get. One good break and what he promised you will come to pass. Sometimes God will put promises in your heart that don't make sense to your mind. The key is to let the seed take root. You don't have to figure out how it's going to happen. All you have to do is believe. You may have delayed it, but you didn't deny it. God hasn't changed his mind. You may not see anything happening, but God is still working. What he promised you is still on the way. The enemy is called the accuser of the brethren. He'll remind you of everything you've done wrong. He'd love for you to go through life down on yourself, no dreams, no passion, no expectancy. Don't fall into that trap. Are you believing lies that you've missed your chance? If you'd have been more disciplined, God already knew about that. What He promised you is right on schedule. You didn't miss it. It's still in your future. Now, you may have failed, but you are not a failure. Failure is an event. It's not who you are. What you do may not always be good, but you are good. You may have gotten off course. You may have brought the trouble on yourself, but God is saying, I'm still going to bless you. I'm still going to use you to help others. You're still going to fulfill your destiny. What I promised you is still on the way. Those dreams you've given up on, they're on the way. I don't see anything happening right now, but God, I know you are working behind the scenes. What you promised me is still right on schedule. You may feel like you're lacking in some area, lacking talent, lacking support, but God knows what you don't have. He knows who's not for you. The good news is God is going to make up for what you don't have. He's going to give you the seed. And sometimes on purpose, God will let you run out of what you need, so you'll have to depend on Him. If you don't turn my child around, if you don't open this door, if you don't heal my body, God, then I'm done. When you come to the end of your ability, then there's room for God's favor. There's room for Him to show out in your life. Don't let the circumstances fool you. Don't let what you don't have talk you out of it. The delays, the seasons of silence convince you that it's never going to happen. He's going to bless you in spite of your mistakes. He's going to make things happen that you didn't deserve. It's just the goodness of God. And I'm all for taking risks, getting out of our comfort zones, but it's important to stay in God's timing. Quit believing those lies that you can't accomplish your dreams. Look what you've done. Never get out of debt. You've made too many poor choices. What God promised you is still on the way. It's still on the schedule. Start believing again. Start making plans for what you've given up on. You've got to keep dreaming. Your better future is a dream for yourself and for your family. You've got to dream dreams. There's a Bible phrase that says, without dreams and visions, people perish.
You have a strong sense of self, that gives your life a sense of purpose. Your life has a sense of purpose, that gives your life a sense of direction. The 40-40 plan is gone, where you can go to college, graduate, get a job, work 40 hours a week, doing the same thing for 40 years. That's gone. People that are hungry are uncommon people. They are saying yes to their dreams. People that are hungry have a vision of themselves when they leave here, leaving a legacy and not liabilities. Most people die at age 25 and don't get buried till they're 60 because they're not willing to take a chance on themselves. I said, God, let me touch and change millions of people's lives. Let me make my mark. Let me touch hearts and minds. Let me be an instrument to give people hope, to inspire them to expand their skill set. God, let me live a life that counts. God, help me live a life that matters. God, give me the stamina, the vision. Use my gift that you have given me. Work with people who are hungry to make their lives count. Mother's dream was to raise 7 children she didn't have. She never failed. We never went to see home. She's a hard worker. She had faith. I remember the first home I bought her. I said, Mama, how you like that? She said, if I lived in something like that, I would feel like Mrs. Roth. I purchased the home and I said, Mama, I think I know the people who live there. So I'm going to stop in and say hello. She looked at how beautiful this house was. She said, Leslie, you sure you know these people? And we got to the door. I reached in my pocket, I took the key out, and I put it in the door. I said, Mrs. Rockefeller, this is your home. This is going to happen for you. It's already happened for somebody.
Life is pain. You know how many times I wanted to just give up? How many times I've thought about ending it?
Life is hard. Easy, it's not an option. But it's worth fighting. It's worth believing. It's worth giving yourself a chance. It's worth mustering yourself up, standing up inside yourself. It's worth fighting relentlessly, never giving up. It's worth fighting a good fight. It's worth being around motivated, positive people. It's worth being up-tempo. It's easy to have faith and feel good when you're feeling good and you have no pain and your bills are paid and you got a clean bill of health from the doctor. It's easy to be motivated then. But when that's not the situation, it's hard. When you look in the mirror and you don't see the person that you once saw. It's hard. I know it's hard, but do it hard.
You got to go all the in. When there's a will, there's a way, and there's always a way. When you're committed, you don't care about the facts. You don't care about the odds. You don't care about the opinions of others. The only thing you care about is making it through to the other side, no matter what it takes. You just got to keep searching, keep fighting, keep hammering, keep failing, keep trying, keep getting back up again, and stop at nothing to reach it.
You gotta have mental toughness. You don't give up on me. You don't quit on me. You man up. You woman up. You get your life back. You get your family back. I need you to have mental toughness. When you come up against that thing, you gotta outlast it. And you gotta already have made up your mind before you get to cancer. You gotta already have made up your mind before you get to that exam. You gotta already have made up your mind when you're talking to your husband, when you're talking to your wife, when you're talking to that sickness. You gotta look at it before you even get to it. So don't you ever give up.
You get to make a choice. Is failure going to break you or is failure going to make you? You get to decide. Failure doesn't. It's okay to fall. It's okay to cry. It's okay to go home. But quitting should never be an option. It's not in falling that makes us failures. It's in not getting up that makes us failures. And you get to decide if you get up or you don't get up.
I can accept failure. Everyone fails at some point. I cannot accept not trying. I don't feel rejected. I tried. How do you feel rejected when you try? The person who didn't try should feel rejected. The person that didn't try should feel defeated. I tried. I don't feel rejected. I feel good about myself. I don't feel bad. I gave it 120%. You can't never feel bad when you put forth 120%. You can't let the outcomes make you feel whack. I'm not whack. I'm a warrior. I'm a problem solver. I'm not soft. I'm not weak. I don't quit. I don't give up. I don't surrender. I don't always win, but I always try.
When you believe with everything in you that you are destined for greatness, you will find a way. You turn a tragedy into a triumph. Despair into repair, pain into gain, adversity into prosperity.
You have to know that this thing is going to work. Come hell or high water, whatever it is that I set out to do, it may not happen in 6 months. It may not happen in a year. It may not happen in 2 years. But at some point, my dream is going to become a reality. I think about my why. I can't quit. I can't stop. I can't get tired. I can't give up. I can't give in. My mama counting on me. My wife is counting on me. When you ain't got nothing left in your tank, you got to think about the people in your life that you're doing this for. And then if you could think about them, you could go one more mile. You could go one more day at work. You keep going. You keep studying. You keep writing. You keep singing. You keep rapping. You keep boxing. You keep fighting. You keep dribbling. You just keep on keeping on. And if you persevere, every storm that's come, it will pass.
Do you know abundance is our birthright? Abundance is our birthright, and everywhere you look, you see abundance. Everywhere you look. There's an abundance of leaves on the trees. There's an abundance of snow in the ground. There's an abundance of water in the universe. There's an abundance everywhere you go, and you and I have the ability to create an abundance. Now you take nothing with you, you'll never own anything. You arrive with nothing, you're going to leave the same way. It's like somebody said, you come in with no hair and no teeth, no money, that's the way you leave. But while you're here, you can enjoy an abundant life. You can have all of whatever it is you want, but you have to earn it. Now, what would abundance be in your life? What would abundance be? To one person, it may be different than to another. But understand this. It all starts in our mind. Most people are letting what they have now control how they see themselves. They let their bank account control them. They let the friends they have control them. They let their conditions or circumstance control. That's not where we want to go. We want to go inside. Everything starts from the inside out. So let's start over. Let's start over. If life isn't the way you want it now, make up your mind. You're going to start over. You're going to sit down. You're going to write out how you do want it. Now, we want abundance. We want an abundance of friends. We want an abundance of money. We want an abundance of all the good things in life that make us more comfortable and have us enjoy life to a greater degree. And, you know, we can have it, but we've got to understand we can have it. We've got to understand that we have infinite potential locked up within us. We've got a marvelous mind. We can think it. Anything we want. You know, Viktor Frankl spent the war years in a concentration camp. And he said, regardless of the intellectual or physical abuse he was subjected to, No one could cause him to think something he didn't want to think. All the great leaders, all down through history, they have been complete, unanimous agreement. We become what we think about. Well, don't think lack and limitation. Think abundance in whatever you want. See yourself with plenty, with abundance. Hold the image and then just think, how can I get this? By continually seeing yourself with it, the way to get it will start to come to your mood. You will attract whatever you need because you're getting on an abundant frequency, and it'll all start coming into your life. As you move towards it, it'll come towards you. Abundance, it's your birthright. You've got to decide on it. Enjoy it.
You know, if you can survive the temporary pain in your life, and all pain is temporary, if you can survive the temporary, on the other side of temporary pain, you meet another version of yourself, another insight about yourself. And that's why it's so important to grow as a person, because the more we grow and become a new person, we can help those that used to be like us. And that's why you and I are so addicted to growing and learning, and we're curious, because if you used to be a broken person and you no longer are quite as broken, you can help broken people. If you used to be broke financially and you no longer are, you can help people. Whatever you do for a living, at one time you didn't know about it, and now you do. You can help those who need to know about it. And so you're immensely qualified if you understand the power of doing one more. 95% of people have an operating system in their mind where they operate out of history and memory. 5% of humans operate out of vision and imagination. So the reason we're so much happier, I believe, when we're children is we have no history and memory. So we operate out of imagination and dreams and vision. But at some age, some people it's 5 years old, some it's 8, some it's 18, some it's 28. They create a history, and that history then becomes the operating system. So even if they take on a new behavior or tactic, they're operating out of a pattern of thought and belief that's historic and memory based. And so the number one thing I would say is begin to operate out of your imagination again, out of your vision again. Create from that place. If you create from that place, now you're not tied to the result in that moment. You're giving yourself space to imagine and create something new in your life. You're the product of who you hang around. Wow. How do I know if they serve me or not? Here's one way to just deduce this, because they could be beautiful people who care about you, and they might even support you. But when you're with them, what are you ever have those friends you're with them, you're like, you remember that party, remember that thing? Yeah. And if your friends are constantly bringing you to the filtration system of memory and history all the time, think this through. How often are those friends saying, hey, what are you working on now? Where are you going? What's your vision? What do you want to create? And maybe that sounds hokey, but you and I have both our friends have the most amazing histories. And you can't get them to talk about them. No. You have to work, because what are they still doing? Yeah. They're talking about now and where they're going. Yeah. Their viewpoint in their life is being present and having a vision for the future. Yeah. A formula for misery, a formula for lack of creativity, lack of productivity is constantly being history and memory. Even if it's good, it doesn't serve us. And for most of us, it's not good. And we keep living from it or trying to move away from it. Create a new future. Don't move away from the past. Create a brilliant, imaginative, curious, vibrant vision for your life. Yeah. Love for something is in the present moment also, right? Love is not just for the past. And it's funny how important one day has been. When my dad got sick, my dad got cancer. When he first got sick, he goes, hey, my dad was a dude. He goes, look, I'll fight this one time. Okay, I'll do your little chemo and your surgery, but I'm not going to pour poison into my body. I'm not going to lose my hair. I'm not going to deteriorate. I'll give this thing a shot once. If it doesn't work, I'm out.